This is an iPhone 6, and it's not quite perfect. So let's put some things out on the table. The iPhone 6 is a good phone. A very good phone, in fact. However, like probably every piece of consumer electronics, it does have its negatives, and it's not perfect. I'm going to outline 5 things I hate about the new iPhone 6, along with 5 things I love about it coming up in a future video. For now, let's try to remain objective and assess the negatives of Apple's newest flagship device. So the first problem you may have seen coming, and it stems from the iPhone 6's beautiful design. Whilst it may be a beautiful phone, it's arguably not the most functional design in the world. The unibody aluminium frame means it's nice to hold, but it's not exactly easier to hold. The iPhone 6 build makes it one of the most slippery phones to hold in your hand that I've actually ever used. The lack of chamfered edges means you barely have anything to grip when it comes to the sides or the bottom of the phone. The place where I found this to be most of an issue is when you're getting the phone out of your pocket, as here you don't really have much grip on the phone to begin with, so it's very easily dropped. And trust me, I'm speaking from experience here. Second is battery life. Once again, battery life on the iPhone is just way below par. As it currently stands, unless I charge up throughout the day, I run flat on a battery by about 8 PM. Not a particular problem if I'm at home and I can just dock my phone, but a pretty big problem if I'm out and about and don't have access to a charger. I may somewhat be spoiled by smartphones like the OnePlus One and the Samsung Galaxy S5, which just last for hours upon hours, but it's frustrating all the same. It kind of makes you wonder, with things like Apple Pay and all of these magical new features that aim to make my life without a smartphone not worth living, what happens when you run out of juice? So this is related to the battery issue, but it may be a slightly more personal reason to hate a smartphone, and that is the lack of wireless charging, again from Apple. The battery life problem wouldn't be a problem if every single time I put my phone down on my desk, it automatically started charging. That's what phones like the Nexus 5 do, and it's just an incredible experience. I almost never run out of battery life on my Nexus 5 simply because when it's not in my pocket, I'm either using it or charging it. It's a bit hard to make an argument for no wireless charging in the iPhone 6 when the battery pretty much blows anyway. At least let us fill it up whenever we can. 4. Memory expansion. Of course, this is another lacking feature in the iPhone 6, but it's just something that continually seems like such a big omission by Apple, I couldn't not mention it. Apple have removed a 32GB version of their iPhone 6, instead now offering only 16GB, which isn't enough for anyone, 64GB, which is another $100, and 128GB, which is just crazy big and crazy expensive. In fact, the iPhone 6 Plus costs actually more than a MacBook Air, so that's definitely not an option for most people. Anyway, the fact that Apple doesn't include a microSD card slot for expansion is clearly just so you pay more on the phone, but it doesn't change the fact that a lot of manufacturers are putting memory expansion into their phones, so the fact that Apple aren't is a really big negative. But it's something driven by Apple not releasing any device specifications before released to developers. Applications are upscaling. This won't be the case forever, but for now it's certainly the case that not a lot of apps are optimized for the iPhone 6's display. This means that you often get messy or unorganized applications on the display that look blurry for the iPhone 6's resolution. Obviously not the best screen viewing experience. By all means, I know this is going to change in the long run, but for now it's without doubt something to consider if you're planning on buying the iPhone 6 in the next few months. That's it, 5 things I hate about the iPhone 6. As I mentioned, I'll be bringing you 5 things I love about it very shortly, as long as the long-awaited iPhone 6 versus Samsung Galaxy S5 follow-up video that a lot of you aren't interested in. So definitely subscribe if you want to see those videos. Other than that, guys, I'm out.